Hello everyone and welcome back. This is part 3 of the p.o.v or point of view owl carving video series. I'm taking my time with this series. I'm not doing a whole lot of editing or sped up film for the actual instructional parts. Only here in the beginning you see a quick time lapse of what we covered in the last video, and things that we will be discussing ahead will be the feather details more into the feet, and we'll be getting into the eyes soon. So thanks for joining, and I hope you enjoy the video. In part 2, we did a lot of establishing on the feet shapes and working on eye placement, establishing the general shape of the beak, cheekbones, getting ready for feather detail, more head shape, cleaning. Established and went over some of the tools for making the eyes, discussed some of the different looks you can give the eyes or even the head. Now in part 3, we move on to finishing up the eyes and getting into feathers and face detail. I think it brings it nicely to life that way. And there too, just back and forth with the same tools, just to clean very lightly. I'm only going in until I see all the wet wood, the fur disappear, because you see the fur it's clogging this up pretty bad. Anything I can do to get rid of that without changing the look of the carving too much is my goal. I think that looks pretty good. Not perfect, but done. There are his eyes. I like those eyes. They're cool. Same thing as the other ones. There's the eyes. We're just going to clean around them. Do the face feathers. See, when I clean around them, I leave some eyelid, because when I hit that with the torch, it's going to show up. It's going to be more detail. It's going to look better. For the face feathers, I usually just go Now you can get a lot fancier. You can get a lot fancier with these feathers. You can leave this part smooth. You can do a different line here and a line here. I've seen all different kinds of things. Some people paint around them, and like I say, you know, it's really your decision at your discretion. Decide what you want to do with it. Decide what you want to do with it.
I usually like to do the face feathers pretty quick because I spend so much time on the eyes or the beak. And now I'm going to tuck under. If you look at this one here, see, tucked under. I kind of like that. Completeness all the way around. I like that. It's a sharp look. It's a full design now. Now it's really coming to life for me. So there, I just pulled the tip of the beak out. Now it's much more shadow, much more detail. So there's your basic owl face. It's working. There's some things in here that I might want to change later. Right now, demonstration video, having fun with it. Good to be here with you guys. So we got a face, we got the body shape, we got the feet. Next, we're going to get into the feathers, working out the feathers. And I like, for feathers, my two favorite saws really are these two. Sometimes I'll use this one. It depends, really depends on my feel. Two different types of feathers I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you this wavy feather, right? We have the wavy feather, which is kind of cool. So I'm gonna show you the wavy feather, show you how it's done. Probably the best feather that I could show you is just going to be the crosshatch feather. So let's start in and just do a easy one. The crosshatch feather. In theory, we're going to break all these areas up with diagonal lines and we're going to go the other way. here's what I'll say, it's all about design. You could stop here. You could just do a one-way diagonal line all the way and have that be your feathers. You could say that's good enough. That's how I want to do it. That's how I like my owls. It's up to you. Be the artist. Be designy about it. These feathers, usually it's a diamond pattern, so real simple, and I love it. Look at that. It's bold. Boom. There it is, man. With bird feathers, things like that, it's more about a clean pattern. That's a simple, clean pattern, and I think it looks great. I love it. Sometimes maybe I'll do this part of the head like that and the rest of it wavy. Maybe I'll do lines on the chest. Maybe I'll do something real fancy on the chest. I don't know. I like to pick and choose as I go. Really up to you. So speaking of the wavy feathers, we're going to do some wavy feathers here and see how it looks with this. The first thing to the wavy feathers is you have to start your top line. You're working your top line and going down. So get that smooth in there first. Go top to bottom. All right, so now we're ready for our first row of feathers. And the trick here is that smooth line is going to be your first feathers. That will define your first feathers. I like to go left to right. You can go right to left. We'll try right to left. It's a little harder for most people because you're trying to get the saw to actually cut and do its own thing as you're doing this. Now, this is important, and this is where it gets confusing for a lot of people, because you see I'll take this off. This is what's important. This is where it gets confusing, because you see I made the shape of the first feathers. Look what happens here. The shape of the second feather starts to show up. So my next line is going to be the same thing right below that. It's actually really simple concept. It's just hard to get used to doing it. And see there, I do it nice and slow for you guys. It's not perfect. Like I said, doing it that way, right to left, is a lot harder than left to right. So I'm going to show you left to right now. We're going to come right around here. How's that? Did you see it? See, now we have the wavy feather look. Wavy and crosshatch. Put them together. It looks cool. Do whatever you want here. Have fun with it. I'm having a lot of fun with this. I hope it's enjoyable for you guys to watch. And like I say, you know, do whatever makes you happy. Here we're going left to right, making our feathers up in here. It's going to get a little tricky, so there's where you're just kind of doing what you can to get those first feathers to sort of look good. The trick here is you're doing these. These aren't as important as these, because these is what's really going to show in your detail. This is going to be more in the dark shadows area. So I'm just getting those in. I want to get those the second row defined. Second row. Touch up there. Third row. Not to make things hard, just work around them. Now I could go all the way down the back here with just that one line. I'm going to stop here. This is further than I usually go, but I really like the look. So I'm kind of I'm playing with this too right now. I'm having a lot of fun playing with this. This here, this edge, I'm just going to go through and tuck that in. Just tuck it. Just tuck it. Define what's there. Don't mess with it too much. Don't fuss over it too much. But there's your wavy, and there's your crosshatch, and I'm going to show you some crosshatch stuff too, maybe on the chest. We'll do some more wavy stuff. We're going to tuck these first. Come right around here. It just gives it that feeling of completeness. It looks a lot better when you do your burn if you have completely tucked in. You notice I flipped the saw around. That's practice. You guys can lay them down, use a chain, use the clamp deal that I showed you there. See the clamp there in the pile of bottles. You can use those. You can put a chain over it. I have a chain for that. Sandbags, whatever. Get comfortable. Do what's comfortable for you. These saws, these little saws, like I said, are hard to make. You can make your own bars. I'm going to get into that stuff later on in life. Once I get the shop fully set up for that. Right now I'm not set up for it. Maybe borrow another shop. Now what I want to do here, I kind of want to arc it because wings have the breaks and the patterns. So we're going to work on that. Every wing I do has that one little feather right off the shoulder there. I like to show that little feather down. So now this is going to be a different type of feather pattern. Now here, there I just play with it and I kind of feel it out and figure out what I want to do. I want to get rid of this. I kind of like that look. It's a different look for me. Now when you guys are doing your cleaning too, the saw's going to skip around. That might be your feather pattern. Watch this kind of thing. So you could use that for a feather pattern. I mean, do whatever makes you feel most comfortable, really. Here, I'm just tucking under. The idea is to tuck under your different rows of feathers. So I'm just going to go straight. Straights are easiest to do if you go front to back. They look better. They come out easier if you start here and work your way around. I start these just so I have my stopper. So I work to that. But as the saw's working this way, it's going to give a better look, I think, personally. And I can even go in with this guy. What's happening there, the reason I think it works and looks a little bit better if you go front to back is because you're cutting two lines at once. You're cutting this line here, you're cutting here and here, and you're cutting this top line, so you're cleaning. This is going to cut a little rougher, and then your flat cut on here is going to be your clean cut. And I flip the saw because I go with the wood grain. It gives me a smoother look. See, as I cut in, I'm cutting this front line and I'm cutting the top at the same time, so it's leaving a sharp, clean edge there, because it's getting, there's going to be a little bit of a burr from your saw kerf. Your chain is going to go in deeper than the surface of the wood to do it right. So I get rid of that roughness of that burr as I work this way. It's all one movement.